59-year-old man is behind bars after being accused of fatally shooting a 25-year-old man and injuring a 3-year-old girl during a road rage incident in Atlanta, Georgia. The incident occurred just before 1 p.m. on the 31st of October, when the authorities were called to a parking lot of Bigelow's Bar and Grill at 2564 Gresham Road, just off Interstate 20 on reports of shots fired. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a man had been shot multiple times, and he was taken to a hospital in a critical condition, where he died a short time later. The victim was identified as Daryl Wiley. His partner's daughter, who'd been riding in the car with him, was also transported to a local hospital after being injured by shattered glass and is said to be alert and stable. Daryl's partner was also in the car, but was uninjured during the ordeal. The authorities said they believe the shooting stemmed from a road rage incident along Interstate 20. The suspect, identified as Eric Simmons, reportedly followed Daryl to the parking lot before getting out of his car and shooting the male victim several times outside the restaurant and fleeing the scene. Jignesh Kumar Patel, who was working at a nearby liquor store when the shooting happened, said, "I was sitting in my chair and heard the gunshots. I ran to the window to see what happened, and I see this guy lying on the floor and his wife was screaming and checking the baby," he said. Aluna Holmes, who works at Go's Barbecue next to the parking lot where Daryl was killed, said his death over something so senseless is sad. "You let your anger overpower you, and that's just not right," she said. Eric was later arrested and held at the DeKalb County Jail. He faces murder and aggravated assault charges. "55-year-old Vernon Lee Allred is behind bars and is accused of fatally shooting his estranged wife, Tracy Lynn Allred. The incident occurred at around 10:05 p.m. on the 5th of November in the 14,000 block of Chris Way in Athens, Alabama. Upon arrival, deputies secured the scene and notified homicide detectives. Tracy Lynn Allred had already been transported to the Athens Limestone Hospital by witnesses, where she was pronounced dead. Witnesses identified the shooter as Vernon, her estranged husband who had fled the scene. Deputies found Vernon hiding nearby with a murder weapon in his hand, and he was taken into custody without incident. The authorities have not released a motive in the attack. Vernon is being held at the Limestone County Detention Center without bond, and is being charged with capital murder. Limestone County Sheriff Joshua McLaughlin said, "We wish to express our sincerest condolences to the family of Tracy Lynn Allred in this time of loss. Thank you to the Athens Police Department and their assistance on this case, and all the dedicated deputies and investigators who worked quickly to resolve this case of domestic violence." A man is behind bars after allegedly stabbing a man and stealing his car. Events unfolded at around 2:20 p.m. on the 3rd of November, when the authorities responded to a call of a stabbing at the Red Roof Inn motel located at 12,929 Northwest Freeway in Houston, Texas. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a man with multiple stab wounds. Paramedics transported him to a local hospital in a critical condition. A witness said that 35-year-old George Albert Hodge and 62-year-old Greg Downs got into an argument at the motel, which led to a physical altercation. During the fight, George stabbed Greg multiple times with a knife. The authorities arrested George a short time later after he fled the scene in a stolen vehicle. He is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and felony evading arrest. The motive of the attack is unknown, and it's unclear whether Greg's condition has improved. The investigation into the matter continues. A 46-year-old man is behind bars after allegedly fatally strangling his 40-year-old girlfriend, who was 8 months pregnant with his child. The victim, Billion Fang, was last seen on the 9th of October in the 3000 block of South Lock Street in Chicago, Illinois, and was reported missing the following day. Her boyfriend and restaurant owner Yaya Shen, who was married to someone else, allegedly strangled Billion to death on the same day she was last seen. The authorities were able to use cell phone and video evidence to identify Yaya as the suspect. Yaya's wife was not aware of his relationship with Billion, nor did she know about the pregnancy. Billion worked for Yaya's restaurant in Lincolnwood. On the afternoon on the 9th of October, Billion and Yaya drove to his home on the 2800 block of West 36th Street after work, and they both began arguing over money. Later in the evening at around 10:50 p.m, Billion reportedly used Yaya's phone to call her 14-year-old daughter because she did not have a phone as Yaya broke hers. The authorities said that Billion and Yaya got into a verbal altercation which turned physical when Ye choked her to death. Ye then drove to Stickney Water Reclamation Plant to dispose of her body, where he covered her remains with branches. He then reportedly threw her pink jacket and other personal belongings in the woods nearby. An autopsy report concluded that the unborn child would have survived with medical attention after the fatal strangling. The authorities recovered a note in Billings' jacket from Ye that read, "I'm sorry, I'm not a good person, I made you suffer, I got scammed, I know it's irresponsible for me to leave you. Hope we don't meet again in another life." On the 3rd of November, Ye was arrested at his home and allegedly admitted to the killing. He's charged with first-degree murder, intentional homicide of an unborn child, and concealment of a corpse. He's held at the Cook County Jail without bail. His next court appearance is scheduled for the 22nd of November.